Oh my God. Okay, today, if you're an architect or a builder, um, house designer, listen up. If you're building yourselves and you're looking for help from a builder, then this is worth listening to as well. Someone said to me a little while ago, home theatre's dead. Couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, home theatre is very much alive and well and getting better and bigger and more amazing every day. And the reason people say home theatre is dead is because they've been completely and fully disillusioned. And this is the blame sits with the architects and builders because they've taken rooms like this that you can see over here, and they've stamped home theatre on it. People move in and it's just an empty room with a couple of horrendous windows, and so they go down to the shops, they buy home theatre in a box, they whack a TV and maybe a sound bar up, and that's their concept of a home theatre. And it's no different to what we had 20, 30, 40 years ago with a lounge room and a TV in it. And yet that is a home theatre, right? No, look, any time the word theatre or cinema is used, you have to say, well, does that equate or relate in any way to what I see when I go to the movies? No, it's not. So just to be really clear, for those of you who sort of are on the fence or not sure where we are with this, I'm not talking about a lounge room with a TV in it. I'm not talking about something that a shop might have sold you that said is a home theatre that was a TV and a couple of speakers. I'm talking about something that gives you an amazing theatrical or cinematic experience. Okay, and if that's what you're expecting, then all well and good. If you just want a TV in your lounge room, well, first of all, scrub out the word home theatre and put lounge room or media room or something like that. That's fine. But don't call it a home theatre because it ain't. All right, it just isn't. And the problem here is that a lot of people have trusted their builders. They get all excited. Oh, we've got a home theatre. Very cool. This is fantastic. They move in and it's just four walls and a few windows and that's it. And no thought has been given to seating placement, screen placement, speaker placement, acoustics, light, entrance, nothing. And the problem is that the builders and the architects are not certified, qualified, or trained to make any decisions based on the home theatre. They're simply not. And look, if you are an architect or a builder, get in touch because A, we'll love to help you out, and B, if you are trained or certified, let us know and we can pass you on to our customers. You deserve the work. If you know what you're doing, you absolutely deserve the work. So good on you. We just haven't met any. So, all right. Look, I'm being fairly brutal, but it's honest. And, you know, we're creating this massive sort of field of disillusionment. And the people who, you know, at least in our experience, and obviously I'm talking about the work we've done, our customers, you guys out there, you know, the Brians, the Pascals, the Nicks, and the so on and so forth, right? Guys, you know what a home theatre is now, right? You've had that experience. And you know, we know it's on a sliding scale, you know, depending on your budget and your investment. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, you know, even at the lower end of the budget, we deliver a home theatre experience, not a room with a TV in it. So what I've done here is I've actually downloaded off Google. I did a Google search for house plans with the home cinema. And I'm going to go through them very, very quickly and just analyze whether or not we can use them for home cinema without any change or without any radical change. So this is the first one. Let's see if this works. I'm doing all sorts of fancy tricks to get this on the screen and happen. So, you know, let's see if we get through this. Okay, so they've put the screen there. Now, I'm going to make the assumption here we're talking about projectors at this point in time. It can apply to TVs, but normally there would be larger TVs. So larger TV or projector, we still need some room for that. So the screen is going to go here. Right, the seats are immediately up against the wall, so we've got big bass, horrible, boomy, nasty, uneven sound. We need to move the seats forward. So let's assume we move the seats forward about a metre. Now, I think that's the narrow end of the room, so now we only have 2.5 metres from there to there. That's not a lot. Our left and right surrounds, they're now going somewhere here, and our rear surrounds are going here. And we've got glass on the side, so unless we do something with that, we've got no acoustic treatment options there. We've got no acoustic treatment options there. And this doesn't have to be expensive stuff, guys, but this room is, it could probably be massaged into shape. What you would need to do is do something with the wall here, maybe put a single door in it, and that would probably start to get us somewhere. And if in the building process you can get them to get rid of that window, if you have to, maybe get a couple of very high little windows in here, if that gets you past council guidelines. Now, some councils will allow you to build a storeroom, and if it's not habitable and it's only for storing equipment, then that can be passed on council plans. Enough said there. If you decide to use a storeroom and put a cinema in it later, well, hey. Okay, so that's room 1. Not too bad. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so room number 2. Let's have a look. So let's assume, very quick glance, let's put the screen at this wall here. Seats here. Notice I always move the seats off the back wall. Left and right surrounds we can do. Rear surrounds we're going to struggle with. We might possibly get them there, but the angle's a little horrendous. So we'd probably have to pull the seats forward a bit more. I'll just see if I can tidy that up a bit. Okay. Get rid of those 2 there. Get rid of those 2 there. Okay. Left and... oh, now we hit the window. Damn it. Okay, let's see what else we can do in here. Let's try, if I put the screen here, I've got this wall here. If I put the screen here, I've got the seats against a window. I can't put my rears in very easily. Okay, but again, if we got rid of the windows or we put small windows in. Now, here's a point. If you're going to put windows in a home theatre, think about this. If you're going to do that, then you need to think about where you're going to put your windows, right? If you need to put left and right, left, center, and right speakers in a room for a screen up at listening height, then, okay, let's get smart. Let's put a little window here and a little window here, and we make little window acoustic pillows. You basically push them into the window, seals it off, and it deals with the light and it deals with the sound. So these are acoustic pillows in your windows now. Your wall comes up to here, right? And you've got room for your left, center, and right speaker. Now, if this was then wall, because you've met the requirements of having windows in the room, we could now put left and right surround seats in here, rear speakers here, and a few Atmos. And this room might actually then start to work, right? But you've got to make those changes, right? Now, I haven't considered every possible option, but let's move on and have a look at the next one. All right, this one's interesting. Okay, so we've got this really nasty corner here. We've got the seats up against the wall, so I'm going to move them forward. Great, I can probably get a surround speaker in there, but I can't get one there. I may be able to get my rears in there, but gee whiz, I'm probably only, I'm guessing, maybe 1.5 meters from the screen here. Maybe 2 meters. That's 3.4. So, yeah. Now, I'm not sure what this is here. So recess, I'm thinking that's possibly glass. But again, you'd need a lot of changes to this room to really, really make it work. Look, and that's what we do every day. But just understand that this is not a home theatre as it stands at the moment. Let's go to the next one. Right. Okay. I'm not sure who's going to sit here. So we've got the screen here, left and right surrounds if the seats come forward, but that pushes there. I think we've got subwoofers with pot plants on them. I don't know. Rear surrounds probably here, something like that. Let's see if we can turn that room around very quickly. Where can I put? Maybe if we screen here, hide that wall. If this wasn't a window, and maybe the windows were a little one here or something, then we might sort of be able to squeeze something into that room there. But again, needs significant changes. All right, next one. Okay, what have we got here? Home theater. Okay, so we've got the screen here, which is really cool because we've got windows here, windows here, windows here, and a massive opening here. Okay, on the 0 to 10 suck factor, this room is pretty woeful at the moment. I mean, if we moved it around and put the screen here, we're going to struggle with speakers. If we put the screen here, we might, hang on, I'll just clear that because it's getting really messy. Yeah, if we put the screen here, rear surrounds might go there. If that wall was filled in, we could probably do something there, fill that wall in, put a proper door in there. Might start to work. And we can probably rotate the room around again. But you see my point. The point is that this has not been designed as a home theatre at all. It's just a room that they've put a stamp home theatre on. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Home theatre. All right, screen here. Pull the lounge seats forward off the back wall because it does really sound horrendous. Left and right surrounds sort of here. Well, we've got a problem there. Rears here. I mean, generally, you look at a cinema, right? We've built rooms longitudinally and it can work, but it takes some effort. We've got a void here and we've got a window here. Let's try and rotate that room around, shall we? Now this might start to work with some changes. Let's get rid of that window, or as I said, just have the off-centered windows there. So now we can have left, center, and right speakers. Screen in front, seats somewhere here, left and right surround. Now fill this wall in and put a door somewhere in here, maybe, or in the corner. So this is all wall now. And we've got our rears. And we're now cooking with gas. I think that's it. That's the last one. So look, the point I'm making here is that just because a plan has home theatre stamped on it, don't make the assumption that it is a home theatre. All right? Talk to someone about it. Find someone who's an ISFHA, THX certified. Get some real advice on it. And look, the forums are great and there's a lot of people up and willing to help. But the problem is, if you're taking knowledge from someone else who doesn't know, they're doing the best they can, and there's no reflection on them, but their knowledge is limited to what they know. And if they're giving you advice, then we are sometimes getting bad advice handed on. Okay. And we see this a lot. People go, well, I Googled it and I got on a forum and I did this and did that. And they've ended up with a result that's, much less than it could have been, probably at no further cost. So that's my beef, guys. Architects and builders generally, and we haven't met any yet, generally don't know, who do know what they're doing. Haven't met any yet who do know what they're doing. Don't know. They just don't know. So don't let them kill home theatre for you. If it's a TV and a soundbar, it's a media room. It's a lounge room with a TV. It's a family room. It's whatever you want to call it, but it is not a home theatre. It is not a cinema. All right, folks. Now, at the end of the day, this is the importance of a room design, because with some very minor changes, especially if you're about to build or you're renovating a home and you're going to start making changes, then having a room design is vitally important. And I'll say it again, if you spend money on a room design, you will save more than 2 to 3 times that amount. Now, room design properly done is not cheap, right? No doubt about it. You know, you're in Australia, you're probably looking at around $1,000. You know, somewhere between $900 and $1,500. Why would you pay that? Because you are going to save money on not buying the wrong equipment. You're going to save money on not making incorrect construction decisions on that room. You're going to save money by more than doubling or tripling the performance value of that room, right? You are going to get a far better result. You're going to have much more enjoyable outcome for much, much longer. And I promise you, you will save money. I absolutely promise you, you'll save money. And, you know, you only have to talk to some of our past customers about the value of this and how each factor in that room design, consideration of speaker placement, seat placement, screen location, screen type, acoustic treatment, spend some money on acoustic treatment, spend less on your gear, spend more on acoustic treatment, you know, and find that balance, which is what we help with. And all of these, every one of those factors is important. If you shift one thing, if you shift your seats, you need to shift your speakers, right? So make some hard decisions, get it planned out. And that's why we do it, because we can see it all there. It's all there right in front of you. And we can see, if we just move the seats there, what happens then? If we move the screen, what happens then? If we move these speakers there, if we move this, if we move the equipment, if we shift the amps, if we move the projector, if you move the TV, how do we get the best outcome? Okay, folks. So yeah, do I have a beef about this? You bet you I do. You know, it really lights my fire, because I just see so many people who have been I don't know, misled's probably not right, but it's just this trend that's grown, and it gives people this idea of, you know, this is the limit. This is the sky. You know, this is where the ceiling is. And this is a home theater. Well, it's not. It just simply isn't. All right. And, you know, so look, I wish you well. Obviously, if you want some room designs done, please contact us. We'd love to help you out. If you want us to build a cinema for you, again, please contact us. You know, it's what we do. But we are always here to help and advise as best we can. All right. So once again, look, thank you for listening. It's been really great having you on board. Please subscribe to our channel. Keep an eye on what's going on with home theatre engineering, and we will continue to try and help and advise as best we possibly can. All right. Bye-bye.